guys, as many of you guys know, I studied abroad twice while being a student here at UW-Whitewater. First time I studied abroad for a semester in Athens, Greece, and then I studied abroad again this summer in Frankfurt, Germany. Studying abroad was probably one of the only experiences I knew I wanted out of college. So I was very fortunate enough to be able to do that twice. So talking about my first study abroad experience in Athens, a lot of people asked me why I wanted to go to Greece and if I was scared. Answering the first question, I didn't have an answer. I was looking at the programs on the school's website and I clicked what I wanted. I wanted to go to Europe, I wanted to be taught in English, and it pulled up like Athens, Greece. I was like, that seems cool. And that's kind of the reason why I chose it. Now if you ask me, it was after probably the 4 best months of my life, I learned so much. And it was the best experience of my college career. And I was so scared about studying abroad. I was the first person in my family to actually ever go abroad and go to Europe. I really had no idea what to expect. I was scared, like the plane was going to crash, and luckily it didn't. And all my fears of things that would happen never happened. So let's go on to like what exactly were my 4 months like when I was over in Greece. I started off, got there, met so many friends, and the first trip I went to one of the Greek islands named Rhodes. As much fun as that trip was, there was a lot of things that went wrong, but it was the best experience of my study abroad trip. I learned so many things. One of my friends loved her wallet on the plane. She had her passport, all her identification, all of her money. And as much as that sucked, we were all rallied around her. We were all helpful. It was like 8 a.m., so it wasn't the best time to think about that. And along with that, there was just so many things that we wanted to do, but we didn't get to do. But then we found something else that was another great experience. And that just taught me so much. I also had the opportunity to travel outside of Greece. I went to Berlin, Barcelona, and Rome, along with other of the Greek islands. And all of those experiences, all of those weekend trips taught me about those different cultures. Even just going there for a few days, I got to try their food, I got to see what their culture is like, I got to see some of their architecture. And it was another cherry on top of that experience. The program we were on also had excursions for us, so I got to learn more about the Greek culture than if I would have just gone to Greece because I wanted to. I learned about more about their history and the Greek gods. I went up to the Acropolis and actually learned why the Parthenon was up there and the history behind it, which I would not have gotten if I wasn't in the program. And then if you flip that to when I spent this last summer in Frankfurt, Germany, these experiences, although they are both study abroad experiences from Wisconsin or from Whitewater, they were so different. An example is when I was in Greece, 99% of the students that I studied abroad with and that I lived with were American students. All my friends I made, I can drive to their house within 24 hours. But somewhere in Germany, 7 out of the 50 students were from the US. All the other students were from places like Australia, South Africa, Brazil, South Korea, China, and some other countries in Europe. And that had its own like learning curves as well. I had a group project with this girl from the Netherlands, and although I'm like, okay, both live in the Western Hemisphere, okay, it's gonna be fine, but it was kind of difficult working with each other because she had her own way that she has learned through her culture on how to work on how to like do projects and whatnot, and I had mine. So sometimes we did butt heads, and it was difficult, but it was a learning experience that is very special and not everyone can have. Along with the month in Germany and classes, I did get to travel around some places in Europe as well, learn more about the German culture, tried some of their foods. We did a picnic and actually learned how to make some of the food, which was really cool. Along with that, I did get to go other places outside of Germany, as in Strasbourg, France, and Paris, which are both insanely beautiful and interesting, and a great weekend to learn new things about that culture. And I guess one of the biggest things I learned from my study abroad experience was it taught me what I wanted to do after college. Before I went to study abroad, I was a finance major. I was just kind of like, cool, it's a business major. But then I learned, after going through the process, I learned that I actually want to work with students studying abroad. I want everyone to have the same experiences I had because it's made me grow. It's going to help me in my future in multiple ways. And I believe I heard that only 3% of Whitewater students actually study abroad or have a global experience. Like that includes travel studies, like summer programs, a semester program, anything along those lines. Only 3% of Whitewater students. I was shocked when I heard that number because I learned how important that experience was to me, and that 97% of Whitewater has no idea how important that experience is. Another thing I learned is basically another thing about myself is basically how independent I can actually be. Before I left for my study abroad experience, I used to joke with my friends that I wasn't an individual. Like I didn't even want to go to Walmart by myself. But I grew comfortable in going around these big cities by myself. Not only by myself, but like I go to the grocery store by myself after class, or I'll go get food. And I did have a regret from studying abroad, and that was that I didn't make many foreign friends. The semester that I studied abroad, like I said, everyone that I lived with and all my friends were from the US. So yes, I have great friends in the US that I can go hang out with. But my friends, I had no friends in Germany or Greece that I can go back and hang out with because that just didn't happen. And I wish that would be a part of my study abroad experience that could expand into the future and be a part of that. Yeah. Any questions?